And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another live stream. It's been a while, but I'm very excited to be back. Hope you guys are doing well. As you can tell from the title, we're just doing another Q&A stream. No bells and whistles, no strings attached. It's just me answering your questions. This is honestly one of my favorite types of streams to do. As much as I love all the streams where I go on with other people and have calls or do whatever wacky things we do, whether that be tier lists, playing bad Cars Flash games, or the times I've gone through my collection or my collections of other things. I always just love doing these casual Q&A streams where I could just talk and hang out and answer some questions. I originally wasn't really planning to do a stream today, but I I had a midterm in one of my classes today, and it was like 30 multiple choice questions. It was very easy, and I was allowed out of class as soon as I finished it. I finished it in 20 minutes, so I finished my class 2 hours and 10 minutes early today. So I have quite a bit of free time today. Uh, so I thought doing a live stream would be a nice idea, and um, I already got a new diecast history out, which I thought was going to take way longer, but I'm very happy I got it out. Anyway, sorry about that. I was replying to a comment. Yeah, I'm very happy that I got diecast history out pretty early. Which means I have to immediately start work on the next one. That's how that series goes. I do it and then just start up the next one, like literally right after. Every episode, as soon as I upload it, I just start recording the next one. And the next one is finally the last part on McQueen. Finally. 5 episodes on McQueen. I promise you, no one character will take this long. No one character will have 5 parts dedicated to them. I think Mater's probably gonna have 4. Mater will probably have a good 4 parts dedicated to himself. But after that, nothing is going to take 5 parts. I'm sure the Piston Cup racers, I don't know. I think for the Piston Cup racers, I've decided to split it up into like 2 parts, at least for the Cars 1 Piston Cup racers. But McQueen, man, there's so many. And what I've been telling myself whenever I feel unmotivated, I remind myself there is not going to be anything in this series harder to make than McQueen. Starting with McQueen means I started with the most difficult one. Well, on the next episode is post Cars 3 and Cars on the Road. On the Road doesn't have enough variants to warrant its own entire episode to itself, and I'm combining it with the post Cars 3 content because we're still getting post Cars 3 related items. Just like how Cars Tunes were in the post Cars 1 episode. I'm honestly not entirely sure how I'm gonna organize Mater. Um, Current plan is episode on Maters from the first Cars, which really isn't that many, and then post Cars and Cars Tune Maters, and then a Cars 2 Mater episode, and then an everything after Cars 2 Mater episode. Because there aren't that many Maters from Cars 3, there's like 2 of them, and then you combine every post Cars 2 and Cars on the Road thing. So the majority of Maters come from Cars Tunes and Cars 2. If I really wanted to, I could combine Cars Maters and Cars Tune Maters into one video, but I don't really want to do that. One of the first comments I got on the new episode of Diecast History was like, oh, this is shorter than I thought it would be. I'm trying to make the episodes shorter to give myself less work so I have more time to do other videos, because I want this to be a weekly series, and I can't be cranking out 40-minute episodes. You know, I know the first episode is 40 minutes, but that was because there are just so many McQueens from the first Cars movie. Most of them are gonna be in the 20 to 30 minute range, which is still a lot for me to do every week, but yeah, I'm trying to decrease the amount of cars in each episode, which gets a lot easier when you're past McQueens. There are going to be some episodes later on down the line. Like, when I get to Sheriff, that's going to be like 10 minutes at most. I don't want to go out of my way to artificially extend an episode. Which I actually almost did. Originally, the Cars 3 McQueen episode that I just posted was roughly 25 minutes. And I realized, like, hold on. I'm saying, like, I found out that I was, like, in editing, I realized I was talking slowly just to artificially increase the length of the episode to get it closer to the other ones. Or I was saying, like, wildly, like unnecessary to add information. So I went back and re-recorded a lot of those segments, and now it ended up being, what, 18, 19 minutes? Yeah, there were some parts that were really long, and I cut them. It was a bit difficult to figure out. Turns out there are only 19 Cars 3 McQueens, but there are also 19 post-Cars 3 and Cars on the Road McQueens. So while I was trying to figure out what to do with this episode, my options were either do 2 episodes with about 20 McQueens each, it's either 19 or 21, I forget, or combine both of them into one longer episode, and I decided it would just be best to split it into 2. So if this episode felt a little empty in terms of content, that's why I split it into 2 different episodes. Yeah, I didn't realize how few Cars 3 McQueens there have been. I didn't realize until doing this series how few Cars 3 McQueens were released after 2017, how few new Cars 1 McQueens were released after 2010, how few new Cars 2 McQueens were released after 2012. They really got most of them out of the way, and the thing with Cars 3 is there are still significant McQueen variants we're missing. McQueen with headset comes to mind. Fabulous McQueen with headset comes to mind. I guess it's mainly McQueens with headsets. Also, like a Midnight Run McQueen with Disney Store did, which the Disney Store did all the way back in 2018. So, yeah, I don't think they're ever going to do a race damaged McQueen. Yeah, Cruise's Storm was canceled, and so was McQueen with headset. I'm sure we'll see them eventually. You can't not make them. Honestly, though, I can't name a McQueen from the first movie that hasn't been made that's significant enough to warrant a variant. When you get to, like, 2015 and we're getting things like Road Repair McQueen, like, Road Repair McQueen is a very nice variant. But, like, it's not. It's just like combining other previous McQueens. If you look at the McQueens from the first movie they've done after 2010, there are very, very, very few left. I can't think of any. I'm trying to think of like any that are. Hi from Marina. Hi, I'm on lunch break for like 5 more minutes. So hi, LOL. Really enjoyed the latest diecast history. It's become one of my favorite series on their channel. Thank you. My analytics have shown it's been doing really well. I've been very proud of it. Yeah, it's a series I've really enjoyed doing. We need Wet McQueen with a one bit of cactus still on him before Red sprays him with water for the second time. Crime he hasn't been made. At this point, if it were like still like 2010, they would do that. You know they would have done that. A winking McQueen, yeah, but I'm not saying expression variants. I'm saying full-fledged variants. I'm not talking expression variants. I'm not talking corrected ones. Hello, Rusty's95. Good luck with biology. Um, no, they totally would have. They totally would have done that if we were still on like 2010 logic. They really have covered all their bases, but for Cars 3 there are several significant ones missing. Cars 2, not really, but there aren't many McQueens in Cars 2 anyway. I guess, if you want to get really technical, and I don't know if this counts, honestly, but we don't have a regular metallic Cars 1 McQueen. That doesn't really count, but kind of wish Cars 2 came out in 2012 like it was supposed to, just to see how desperate they would have gotten for new variants in 2011. Right? I think if it continued, if the Cars 1 diecast line continued into 2011, we totally would have gotten, like, the car getting turned into a pile of dust in McQueen's dream sequence. We would have gotten that. There is no way. Pile of dust wet. Yo, guys, I got a super cool custom. Pulls out ashes. Sparkplug Monster is still somewhat likely. Take 5 a day said so. Any day now. Yeah, that and Luigi's mom, right? I almost did a whole video on that list once. I Take 5 a day article of like, what cars do we think are being made that everyone took way too literally. Goodbye, Marina. Thank you for joining us. And I was going to do a whole video on that, and then I ended up doing the 7 Missing Racers episode instead. Which I think was much funnier. Because I wanted to do, I really wanted to do a video on old Take 5 a day. Have you played any of the Cars games? Yes, I've played all of them at least once. I don't talk about the Cars video games that much on my channel. They're just not a significant part of my, they're not a significant part of my experience with the franchise, but I have. you ever played the Cars Granny style game on Roblox, Ty? I don't know what that is, and I don't want to know ever in my life. That, um, I really like that Missing Seven Racers video. Yeah, that's one I really enjoyed making. To this day, though, I get comments on it from people thinking that there legitimately were seven other racers. There weren't. The whole point of that video was proving the fact that there was not. And I still get comments from people being like, "I think the seven racers are this," and I'm like, "No, no, that's not it. No, I'm not playing more Roblox on stream. No, thank you." That was just one of the worst experiences in the history of my channel. Not playing another racing game that doesn't have a starting grid. It doesn't tell you when to start. You just go whenever you feel like it. Yeah, I like Thomas as a kid. I actually did a stream going through my old Thomas stuff. It's not a franchise I keep up with, but I do keep up with the online fandom for it. But I'm not really a part of it. Ty, how does it feel to own yet another variant of a car you don't own? Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen. I like the fact that I have every variant of Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen other than the silver one, except the normal one. I think it's a very funny quirk of my collection. If I wanted a Hudson Hornet Piston Cup McQueen, I could have gotten out and bought it already, but I think it's funny to have every variant except the normal one. It's like how I don't have a regular Mac. I could get a regular Mac whenever I want, but I just enjoy the fact that I don't have one. No, I've never watched an episode of SpongeBob in my life. That's not a lie. I don't have an issue with it, I just never watched it. How much of the important stuff did I miss? You missed me being elected president of the United States. It was wild. No, I don't have a Cars 1 Mac. I have Cars 2 Mac. For years, I only had Jocko Flocko. Again, I could get a Mac whenever I want. I just haven't. Mac's always available. There hasn't been a Cars 1 Mac single in a while. Cars 1 Max Cab is coming out in a 9-pack this year. But what was your campaign then? My campaign was called I Talk About Toy Cars on the Internet. Please listen to me. I can fix this country. And I won! Well, Cars 1 Mac hasn't been out for quite a while. You know how haulers get online. Is your first presidential act going to be abolishing Walmart cases? My first act as president is going to be giving everybody free ice cream every Tuesday. That's my first step. Think a little free ice cream Tuesday goes a long way. No, they didn't make Wingo with the visor down. They made the blinking lenticular Wingo. And since lenticulars all look bad, it just kind of looks like his visor's down. What is it? Oh, it's Wednesday, so we don't get free ice cream. Free ice cream Tuesday starts next week. My God, there's not a Cars diecast I don't know about. You can't dupe me. What about Glow Racer's Finn McMissile? Really? He's coming out? I knew it! I'm one of the most skeptical collectors you will ever meet. I don't believe anything. Unless it's legit. Welcome back. Thank you. It kind of feels like I never left. Some guy keeps adding Cars 2 characters to the Glow Racers page on the Cars Wiki. We have to keep reverting it. Oh no! I hope it's not the same guy that kept claiming that the clowns from On the Road would get Hydro Wheels. Tell them to add Grem and Acer next. Well, the Cars Wiki did once claim that Grem and Acer were dead, so. What do you think of the Acolyte trailer? I thought it was pretty good. It's interesting. I'm glad we're moving. This is a new Star Wars show that they released a trailer for yesterday. I'm glad we're moving to different points in the timeline. Have you watched Dragons Rising yet? I still have not, no. I was going to over break, and then I didn't. I'll get around to it. look, it's a Star Wars show with Trinity from The Matrix in it, and the choreography looks solid. Okay, so I don't know how interested I am in the mystery aspect of it, but I think my general excitement for the fact that they made a show at a new point in the timeline usurps that. I know it's in the High Republic era, but it's 100 years after the High Republic books. So I don't really have opinions on the High Republic. I haven't read any of it. I meant to, but way too much. Way too much High Republic stuff came out all at once for me to try to keep up with it. So it's not really a point in the Star Wars timeline I care for much, but I think it's very cool to see it getting a televised adaptation in some capacity again, because this is 100 years after the book. So sorry, just gotta make sure we're not overheating here. What would be your dream diecast line? At this point, honestly, like a side series, like a non-mainline thing. At this point, I'd say deleted scene or concept art cars. I think deleted scene cars would be a very cool thing. If they're in the art style of the storyboards, like specially painted to look like that. That would be my like dream line. I know a lot of people would say like the video game characters. For me, I want characters from deleted scenes or concept art versions of characters. I think that would be really cool. More serious question. If you were given a choice to completely rewrite any MCU movie, which one would you choose? I would rewrite Captain Marvel, the first one, to make Captain Marvel into an actual character with depth and be interesting and not be Brie Larson. And then I would remove the sequel from existence. Why? um, um, that's up there. If that means that it also alters the sequel so that it doesn't suck and make me cry because it's that bad. Um, um, it's the only one where I could really say like, because that's a character I desperately want to be able to like, but I can't because it's not a likable character. So most impactful Pixar movie, just like to the world, then it's got to be Toy Story. To me personally, um, for myself personally, uh, probably Cars then, right? That's the one I run a YouTube channel about. For the world as a whole, you have to say the first Toy Story. What's the most forgotten character from Cars Adventures? Probably a one-off character. Because when Cars Adventures has, what, like over 1,000 episodes at this point? Most impactful, emotionally, to me, it's Coco, which is actually my favorite Pixar movie. Saw Dune 2 was very interesting. I have not seen. I saw the first Dune. I thought it was kind of boring. I know I have to see the second one eventually. I've heard it's very good. Um, I'll get around to it. Cards Adventures has over 1,000 episodes, so I think a one-off character from a forgotten episode. I'm gonna say the delivery truck from the Fuel War arc, which was made of Legos. There we go. Look into that one. I'll be right back in a second, guys. Hold on a second. Alright, we're back. Sorry about that. Just have to make sure my phone doesn't overheat on me. Had that happen one too many times. Favorite Cars on the Road episode? I don't know. In hindsight, a lot of them are incredibly forgettable. I think they all just kind of mesh together in my mind. Not much happens. When I saw it first, it was B-Movie until the end. I think B-Movie is my favorite episode, but the ending really ruins it, where Ivy just comes out of nowhere. But I think it still is B-Movie. I can forgive the ending being not as good as the rest of the episode, because I think B-Movie is my favorite. Any cars that you think got a worse design in the final product versus the concept art? Not that I could think of. I mean, I think most designs were finalized and made better for a reason. Uh, yeah, there aren't really that come to mind for me. Most Cars characters that we have publicly available concept art for didn't really change that much compared to what they initially were supposed to look like. You mentioned Lewis there. I can't say. Can't say I agree. Lewis's design went on to be used for Prince William, which I think uses it significantly better. Lewis does have a very empty design, but I think it works in his favor. He's a very distinctly shaped car. Which Cars video game do you think that people forgot quickly? I don't know. Can't say I was there for the launch of any of them in an intense manner. But when's the last time you heard somebody talk about Radiator Springs Adventures? Other than right now, where I just mentioned it. That doesn't count. Just shh, that one doesn't count. I don't even know what that is, quite frankly. I think it was a PC game. Honestly, I don't know. I know it was a mini game collection. I want to say. Let me look it up. Radiator Springs Adventures was yeah. Yeah, it was a PC game. Launched 3 days before Cars came out. Alright. Yeah, and it had a variety of different variety of different mini games in there. All right, well that's what that is. Had a mini game that was similar to Rush Hour, which is pretty solid. I never had. We're a Mac family, so I can't relate. Anyone remember Cars Hot Shot Racing? Yeah, I didn't think so. Um, I remember Hot Shot Racing. Wasn't that like the Android game one? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think I talked about that in one of the icebergs. I always remember that one because I wasn't able to play that one. Basically, proto Fastest Lightning. Did Fastest Lightning come first? It was developed by the same company. It was Gameloft, so. I think Byron Crashforth will be weaker than Mark Sondheimer. I don't know. I was planning on having them get into a fist fight in my review. So we'll see which one of them is physically stronger. I think Byron would probably win. I think. I mean, Mark's got nothing on him. He's significantly longer. He could use himself as a melee weapon. Mark Sondheimer already looks like somebody ran over him. People are actually modding Fastest Lightning. Yeah, I've heard of that. I'm very interested in that. Fastest Lightning is one of my favorite mobile games of all time. I'd love to be able to play it again. Um, if the like remake and modded servers ever go up, I will be first in line. Okay, I kind of want to get like an inside scoop on that. I'd love to be able to make videos on that, or just to play it just cause. How you deal with the economic status of a small order of fries, or over the quote from that one white TP one. Large order of fries. I think it was a large order of fries. Uh, I really like that GRC playset. I like that we're bringing back the hand crank from the Piston Cup set last year. I love that it includes two cars and it comes with a little plastic trophy. I think the trophy design looks terrible, but I like that we see what the GRC trophy looks like. I love the giant Lightyear ring showing that they're like a sponsor for this race. I love that the box art continues the theme of having it take place in the desert. It may be a rare occasion of me buying a playset just to buy a playset, just because I really like it. Usually, I only get playsets if I can use them in videos. Um, but this is a case of I genuinely really, really like the set. I would purposely lose the GRC just to not get that trophy. It's a really ugly trophy. I love that it has handles. Why does the trophy have handles? Nobody could hold it. Hand is in the name. If you were to make diecast that should be made now, what changes would you make? I'd add commentary on each of the items. If you've seen my like top 20 list, it was like top 20 cars diecast that are still missing, or my top 5 most wanted cars from every episode of On the Road. I do something like that. And I guess it is a viable option that in the future I could bring back the series in that form. I think just adding commentary discussing the item instead of just showing a picture. Just being able to add more content there and add more personality there. It's like how every single car used to literally just be a slideshow of images of each release of an item. But now when I do it, it doesn't have commentary, but it has the name of the item and every time it's been released. To add something there to make it actually content instead of just slideshow of images. That's not content, that's just looking at pictures. That barely qualifies as a video. I think bringing cars that should be made back in that way is a viable option for the future. But then again, I'm not really sure what commentary I could add without it very quickly becoming redundant. Would plastic GRC McQueen be Juan cows, or would that not be worth it? Oh, I guess if I buy the playset, I could do that with him. I guess that's an option. I just realized that since they're reusing the crank from last year's set, it still has piston cup engraved into the launcher, which is funny. Oh, the handles are wrenches. Okay, my bad. I'm sorry for insulting the handles. Also, the trophy is round because it's supposed to look like a globe. Okay. I like it a little better now. Favorite Star Wars game? I haven't played as many as you may think. I guess I'd say Jedi Survivor. I know it's recent, but I think I liked it better than the first one, honestly. You see Greebles just chilling in the stock images? No, is he in the fan stands? Oh, there he is! Greebles. What a guy. Love Greebles. I wish Greebles were real. That'd be so cool. Can you imagine? Can you explain in a well thought out paragraph why the song Truck shouldn't be considered music? Yes, I'll turn it into you tomorrow. I played Cars 2 AppMates a lot back in the day. More than somebody should for someone that didn't own the AppMates themselves. It was alright. It's pretty fun. You have a McQueen TV. Contrary to popular belief, not everything I own is related to the Cars series. I have a regular TV. I want to do a video one day where I replay. I assume we're talking about AppMates, but would I even go about doing that? Oh, don't worry. I have the McQueen bed. Yeah, no, people love it. No, I have a regular bed. I did have Cars bed sheets at one point in my life. I remember them being incredibly uncomfortable, so I never used them. My Cars bed sheets had the word Slipstream Supercars on them. Now, ladies, one at a time. Does Mater have cable or satellite? I don't know what he's receiving, quite frankly, but that's a very good question. Hey, we have Ty's infinitely cooler twin brother in the chat. No way, really? Oh, that's awesome. I didn't see him there. Hey, how's it going? Oh, that's great. It must be that one time a year you make a new video. Cool. What's it gonna be about? Okay then. Well, we've been going for about an hour. I got some other stuff I gotta do, so I think we'll be wrapping up in a few minutes. But I do want to say thank you to all of you for showing up here today. One of my goals after coming back from my break is to do live streams a bit less frequently so I could spend more time focusing on full videos. Oftentimes I've had oftentimes I would in the past do a live stream and then just not make a video because I did a live stream, but it's not something I want to be doing. Yeah, I mean, we have ones like this where this one was fun, but you know, there's just not much to talk about. I think just lessening the amount, lessening the length of them, unless it's like a big event, I think is a good idea. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this one. And I will see you guys next time. Bye now.